Bihar is a state in eastern India, which is the third largest state by population and the 12th largest by territory. In ancient and classical India, the area that is now Bihar was considered a center of power, learning, and culture. From Magad arose India's first empire, the Maurya Empire. And for a very long time, Buddhism was practiced in this region. Since the late 1970s, Bihar has lagged far behind other Indian states in terms of social and economic development. Many economists and social scientists claim that this is a direct result of the policies of the central governments since 1947, when India got independence. Policies such as the freight equalization policy, among others, are cited as the cause. Not to forget about the centre's apathy towards Bihar, the lack of a Bihari sub-nationalism, and the permanent settlement of 1793 by the British East India Company. What could be pointed out as a positive here is the fact that the state government, however, has been able to make significant strides in developing the state. Improved governance has led to an economic revival in the state through increased investment in infrastructure, better healthcare facilities, greater emphasis on education, and a reduction in crime and corruption. Buddhism in Magad went into decline due to the invasion of Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khalji, during which many of the viharas were destroyed along the universities of Nalanda and Vikramshila. A notable mention is the fact that the 10th and last Guru of Sikhism, which is Guru Gobind Singh Ji, was born in Patna in 1666. With political instability in the Mughal Empire following Aurangzeb's death in 1707, Murshid Quli Khan declared Bengal's independence and named himself the Nawab of Bengal. After the Battle of Buxar in 1764, the British East India Company obtained the Diwani rights, which is the rights to administer and collect tax revenue for Bihar, Bengal, and Odisha. The rich resources of fertile land, water, and skilled labor had attracted the foreign imperialists, particularly the Dutch and British, in the 18th century. A number of agriculture-based industries had been started in Bihar by foreign entrepreneurs. Bihar remained a part of the Bengal Presidency of British India until 1912, when Bihar and Orissa were carved out as two separate provinces. Coming to the pre-independence era, 1914 to be precise, farmers in Champaran had just revolted against indigo cultivation, and in 1917, Mahatma Gandhi visited Champaran, where Rajkumar Shukla had drawn his attention to the exploitation of the peasants by European indigo planters, which was followed by the Champaran Satyagraha, which received support from many Bihari nationalists such as Rajendra Prasad and Anugrah Narayan Sinha. This led to the formation of the All India Kisan Sabha at the Lucknow session of the Indian National Congress in April 1936. By 2004, The Economist magazine said that Bihar had become a byword for the worst of India, of widespread and inescapable poverty, of corrupt politicians indistinguishable from mafia dons they patronize, caste-ridden social order that has retained the worst feudal cruelties. In 2005, the World Bank believed that issues faced by the state were enormous because of persistent poverty, complex social stratification, unsatisfactory infrastructure, and weak governance. Looking at the present political scenario, there are basically two main political formations or political alliances that claim to come to power. The first is the National Democratic Alliance, the NDA, which comprises of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is presently in power at the centre, the Lok Jan Shakti Party, and the Janata Dal United. So the BJP, LJP and the JDU form the NDA. And the second alliance between the Rashtriya Janata Dal, which is Lalu Prasad Yadav Party, Hindustani Awam Morcha, Rashtriya Lok Samta Party, and the Indian National Congress. These together form the UPA, the United Progressive Alliance. There are many other political formations, but none of them strong enough to form the government on their own. The Communist Party of India, CPI, had a strong presence in Bihar at one time, which has since weakened. Talking about the present Chief Minister, Nitish Kumar has been the Chief Minister of Bihar for 13 years between 2005 and 2020. In contrast to prior governments, which emphasized divisions of caste and religion, his political platform was based on economic development, reduction of crime and corruption, and greater social equality. Then we fast track to 2020, right now, when the elections have just taken place in Bihar and the results are to be announced day after tomorrow, which is the 10th of November. We'll be doing a separate video on the exit polls and what is expected out of this election. But the present Chief Minister, Nitish Kumar, who represents the NDA, has already led the state for 13 years in the last 15 years, and therefore there has been an NDA government ruling the state of Bihar for the last 15 years since 2005. Prior to that, there was yet another 15-year-old legacy of Lalu Prasad Yadav, which was infamous, as it was termed, as Jungle Raj by many due to the terrible law and order situation in Bihar during his tenure. We'll get to that in the specific political video that will be soon released. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, like or comment. Thank you. Bye-bye.